Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stump, back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking BigMom versus KAIDO into the Hawkins forest, and this is probably the last piece of hard content that I'm going to release with these guys, just for the time being anyway. But today we are taking BigMom as our leader and our friend KAIDO into the Hawkins forest, utilizing the dual power of their verse effect and having both available to us. So for our captain, we are using BigMom, as we do want to be using the Magellan ship for this particular team. To use the Magellan ship, you do need your captain to be in, so that is very, very important. As a captain, they are a 5x captain, or she's a 5x captain to strength sign in. She gives a 1.5 times HP boost and boosts the chance of landing on recovery orbs. She also makes recovery and SEMMMLAAAA orbs have matching slot effects, and if you hit a perfect, you can still gobble up that meat orb as well, or the SEMMMLAAAA orb. So it's very, very good. Her versatility lets her go through all defensive effects. She heals 15 times recovery for every character she kills, and she turns recovery into Selma. So very, very handy, especially for the Holdem stage on this particular run. Her special reduces 20% HP, changes block and T&D into recovery, boosts strength sign into character's attack by 2.25, and if you land 3 perfects, she becomes an orb boost for 2.25 for those same 3 colors. So she's very, very strong. KAIDO's the same, but instead of doing Psi, he does Dex, and then his versatility is end of turn damage instead of healing. So the two of them together is actually really, really busted. On this particular team, we are using Colosseum Neptune. Colosseum Neptune is actually aged so damn well. His special removes attack down and despair for 5 turns. The main reason he's here is his despair removal. He also drastically reduces defense and greatly boosts his cerebral and powerhouse character slot effects, which 2/3 of this team is. So that's very, very handy as well. He also has a very, very good sailor ability where he can reduce special charge every time someone else uses a special. So very, very good. He does have pinch healing as well, and he has powerhouse tag, which is very handy. Next, we have Vivi Rebecca. Honestly, if you don't have Vivi Rebecca, you can still beat this forest, but the ship it's not even worth it, to be honest. Just wait to get Vivi Rebecca and then tackle it. The only benefit of this forest is just to say you've beaten the forest. Vivi Rebecca removes defense up, damage reduction by all turns, give color affinity for 2 turns for cerebrals and strikers, and then becomes Vivi Rebecca. Their switch ability is the big reason they're here, though. 2.5 times chain lock, makes strength and dex orbs changes to their own type for cerebral and strikers, and then heals 2,000 at the end of turn. So very, very good. The chain lock's the big reason they're here, as well as the defense up and damage reduction removal. But otherwise, they are replaceable with another defense up, damage reduction removal. I imagine someone like the Robin would work. Unfortunately, Usohachi doesn't work. Oh, Rayleigh. The Rayleigh would work, actually. The one that came out with... Oh, actually, no, not the Rayleigh. He doesn't do that. Someone that does defense up and damage reduction removal, they should work absolutely fine. On to the next character now. We are using limited rare recruit Lucy. Now, this guy here is actually replaceable with someone like the rare recruit Montidor. The big reason he's here is for his special bind and his burn removal on the final stage. Special bind especially when you come up against Kyoshiro, but he also boosts strength and psi characters attack by 2.25 as long as there are 4 or more strength or psi characters. He also changes block bomb and quick orbs into matching, but that's not really the reason why he's here. It's just the special bind and the burn that you want. Montidor actually does special bind, burn, and the defense up damage reduction. So he's another option for you guys if you are struggling to find something on to remove the defense up and damage reduction. But I do think you need 4 turns of it. He's just a very, very good replacement for this limited rare recruit Lucy if you guys are still missing him. But if you do have him, I would definitely slap him on, as he is very, very good. He removes special bind on himself by 5 turns, which is essential, and he makes T&D orbs have matching slot effects, but that doesn't matter because KAIDO does that as well. Finally, we have Luffy Sanji. Luffy Sanji are absolutely god tier for this particular team. Their switch ability is great. Utility in their switch ability is great. They give full body recovery orbs, which is actually essential, but you could replace them with the Clash Bonnie. If you do that, I would try and find a spot for Luffy Zoro, the OG Wano Orb creator. But if you guys have this guy, you are in for a treat, because they make this forest, for this team anyway, so much easier. They change block orbs into recovery, heal all orbs, including block into recovery, heals 50 times character's recovery, up to 2 times for overheal, and does a 2.5 times attack boost if you are at full HP. If you're not, there are 2 times otherwise. Their switch ability is also amazing for this team. Bind, Despair, Paralysis removal, which is absolutely god tier. They're very, very strong, and they see a lot of play, especially on BigMom teams. They're a very, very good sub for BigMom. So that's the team, guys. As you guys know, we are bringing a friend KAIDO. We do have the Magellan as our ship, and we are just bringing stat boosters as subs. So that's enough about the team. Let's hop into the run. Okiku has arrived. Now, this has to be the most annoying stage in the entire forest, to be dead real with you. But here we are at stage 11 of the Hawkins forest, and we come up against Okiku. Now, Okiku blows away your friend captain for 2 turns. She gives you 1 turn of despair, which is freaking annoying. But lucky for us, we have Luffy Sanji. Now, with the switch ability of Luffy Sanji, we can remove the despair. But then the next turn, she's going to bind 2 random crewmates. And then the turn after that, she's going to bind 3 random crewmates. Now, hopefully you guys have Luffy Sanji that doesn't get binded. But for me, I unfortunately had Luffy Sanji binded. Now, if Luffy Sanji doesn't get binded, you can switch and remove the binds. But this stage is super annoying because she gives despair and she gives binds. You can't bring supports in the later stages to actually remove bind and despair. So this whole stage just literally is built to just cuck your supports, which is so goddamn annoying. And as you can see, it takes like 4 turns to kill Okiku. It's so arrogant, man. But once you do kill her, we can move on to the next stage. Goodbye. Thank God. It was like 1 minute and 10 seconds just on Okiku. Ridiculous. On to the next stage, we come up against Raizo. Now, Raizo is another actually quite arrogant stage. He gives us a full board of T&D orbs, which he makes unfavorable for 1 turn. And then he gives you 5 turns of special bind, which is, again, very arrogant and very annoying. Mainly because he has end of turn damage as well. And he does hit fairly hard. He hits for like 12k with the end of turn damage. With Kaido, though, you can get the HP cuts. But you do technically want to stall a turn here, mainly so you get the special bind down to 4 turns. Now, on the next turn, we are going to need to stall 3 turns. So just stall once here on Raizo and move on. Because after you take 1 turn on Raizo, he's going to slot bind your entire crew, which is a little bit annoying. Oh, actually, no. So why did I take 2 turns there? Oh, actually, I think, yeah, I took 2 turns on this particular stage, because on the 3rd turn of the Holdem stage, no, you know what? You should only probably, stall 1 turn here. Then just use the Kaido versatility and move on. As you do want to really stall 3 turns against Holdem, as that way you get the 3 20% HP cards. So, as you can see, it's really not that big of an issue, but I would probably only stall 2 turns there and then just move on to Holdem. So against Holdem now, he puts up a good barrier. It's I think it's a 1 turn good barrier and 4 turns of threshold. With BigMom, we're gonna actually cheese our way through that threshold. But every single turn, he does like a HP cut and then he attacks. He does around 12k with the Magello ship, which isn't a whole heap, as we do have a lot of HP with this particular team. BigMom's 1.5 times HP buff is insane. But because we get burnt as well, we can't really hit perfects for pinch healing and stuff like that. So we do need to be mindful of our HP. But with Kaido, if you break the barrier, Kaido's still going to do those 20% HP cuts. If you get Holdem below 50% HP, he basically gives you captains 10 turns of despair and 10 turns of bind. So you really don't want to do that. But just with Kaido's end of turn HP cuts, you can get him down to around just over that 50% HP mark. And then with BigMom's versatility, being able to go through defensive effects and the special of Luffy Sanji, we can give ourselves a full board of recovery orbs. We can use the versatility so we can go through the defensive abilities. We can use the Magello ship to lock those orbs, and we can and we have a 2 times attack boost. With that and the 2.5 times chain lock from the switch ability of Vivi Rebecca, you can literally just hit with your BigMom, and that way you can kill Holdem. It's actually incredible. The amount of damage BigMom has just on her own to just blast through Holdem's HP is insane. And goodbye Holdem. Now hitting that perfect there doesn't matter too much, as you can see, we get so much healing back from killing Holdem as well as those SEMMMLAAA orbs. Now that we've moved on to the Kinemon and Kanjuro stage, we basically have a full board of SEMMMLAAA orbs for the entire run. So these orbs can't be changed. They give 2.5 times attack. Do they do 2.5 attack? No, that's the 1 orbs. 1 orbs give that. Some orbs, they just basically recovery orbs that can't be changed, which is great. And BigMom can actually heal through perfects. So with that, holding onto these orbs and using the 2.5 times chain lock of Vivi Rebecca every turn, we have so much damage. So on that first turn against Kanjuro and Kinemon, be very, very careful how much damage you do, as you don't want to get them too low and you don't want to kill them. You want to kill them both at the same time. Otherwise, they'll just do a whole bunch of nasty defects. They do paralyze our captains for 3 turns, which we are just going to cop. As on the next stage against Kyoshiro, no, is it Kyoshiro? Kyoshiro is the Zoro's master. This is Kyoshiro. He puts up 3 turns of defense up, and he slot binds our entire crew for 1 turn. And he also does 2 turns of special bind. On the next turn, he's going to give us another 2 turns of special bind and slot sales again. And then on the 3rd turn, he's actually going to put up 5 turns of damage reduction. So basically what we're going to do here is we're just going to eat the meat orbs on our BigMom and our Kaido. we are going to make sure that we are in our strength variations before we use our Lucy special on the third turn, because Lucy's going to remove the special blind and he's going to give us an attack up. Very, very handy, actually. And then with the special of Vivi and Rebecca, we can actually remove all the defensive effects. Before you use Lucy's special, though, you do need to make sure you have 4 strength units. So make sure you do switch with your Vivi Rebecca. We're basically not going to switch with Luffy Sanji anymore unless we need their utility. But Vivi Rebecca is going to remove the defensive effects. So we have the 2.5 times chain lock. We have a 2 times color affinity, which we don't even use. And we have a 2.25 times attack boost to our strength units. And with that, we can actually just destroy Kyoshiro. If you need to, hit a couple perfects just to get a little bit more damage. Hitting perfects doesn't matter with BigMom because we can actually just heal with the SEMMMLAAA orbs, which is just great. On the next turn, we come up against Jack, who gives us 5 turns of despair, and he makes all colors unfavorable. So this is where having those SEMMMLAAA orbs is just absolutely god tier, as we can use the Neptune special to remove the despair, set the defense not to 0, but we can drastically reduce it, and we can get a 3 times orb boost to our powerhouse and our cerebral units. And with that, we can just start whittling away at Jack's HP, as Jack gives us a chain coefficient reduction. So the first turn, we are literally not going to do, well, we're not going to do too much damage, but once Vivi and Rebecca come out of their dual form, we can get that 2.5 times chain lock and get around the chain coefficient reduction. It's going to make our life a lot easier. Now we're healing with the SEMMMLAAA orbs every single turn as well. It doesn't matter how much damage Jax does to us, because we can just clap him with the KAIDO special, get the 2.25 times attack boost to our entire crew. We do use the KAIDO special mainly because we have Vivi Rebecca, the Vivi variation of Vivi Rebecca. And then with the orb boost from Neptune, we can hit 3 perfects. 1, 2, 3. And that way we can get the carryover of the orb effect into the next turn, as we are going to lose Neptune's orb boost moving into the stage against, I think are we at Zoro, Sanji, and Law? We are at Law, Zoro, Juro, and Sangaro. They're going to bind our top right, bottom right, middle left. And this is where the switchability of Luffy Sanji is absolutely god tier once again, as we can actually remove that without using any specials whatsoever. So we're going to switch with Luffy Sanji. We have the carryover orb boost from BigMom KAIDO, and then we can use our other BigMom KAIDO, depending on whichever one you used on the previous turn, to get the attack buff and just absolutely decimate this particular stage. Now, if you don't have limited rare recruit Lucy and you are bringing someone like Montidor or trying something like that, you do need to be careful what you guys do on that particular stage, as you sort of just want to use the BigMom KAIDO special to take out Jack. You might need 2 turns there, and then you can just use the attack buff and just take an extra turn against that stage against Law, Zoro, and Sanji. Once we move into the next stage against Jack, we can actually just stall for pretty much forever. On this particular stage, we do want to make sure that we do get all of our HP back before we move into the KAIDO stage, because once we move into the next stage against KAIDO, we're just going to basically lose all of our healing. Jack puts up 3 turns of damage reduction threshold and attack down, so we can't really do too much for 3 turns anyway, besides just eat meat orbs. Every 2 turns, he's going to blow away our captains, so be mindful of that with like your meat orb eating, I guess, as if you are eating meat orbs and you don't need them for healing, you're kind of just wasting time. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Just don't hit perfect so you don't lose those SEMMMLAAA orbs. You just want to keep eating them over and over again, because when Jack starts to turn into a dex unit and he stops blowing away your friend captain, he's going to start doing double attacks, so he's going to start doing a bit more damage. So just eating the SEMMMLAAA orbs every single turn will mean that you guys can stay at a very, very high HP pool. When we move into the next stage against Jack, as I mentioned, against KAIDO, we are going to lose basically all our recovery, and the SEMMMLAAA orbs are literally just going to be here for damage. You do want to hang on to them though, as every color is unfavorable. That 99 plus turns is very, very annoying, and if you don't have a way to abuse this mechanic, it can get pretty frustrating unless you bring someone like Sabo and Koala. When you have basically all of your specials back, that's when the good time to move on. Unfortunately, KAIDO did sort of lag behind, as we were losing him every 2 turns, but because we used KAIDO's special first on the Jack stage, we could actually get it back in time with the same sort of timing as BigMom, which is very, very handy. As you guys can see, Jack can't even do as much damage as we can heal. The 6 SEMMMLAAA orbs every single turn, and Jack doing something like, what is it, something like 18,000, I think it was, if I saw correctly. We're healing 7k more than that, so Jack physically cannot kill us as long as we keep eating those SEMMMLAAA orbs. So on this particular stage, take as long as you guys need, and just make sure you stay at max HP moving into the next stage, as we do want to use Luffy Sanji special on the very first turn. Once you get your specials down to around 4, the 4 counter timing, that's when we can move on to the next stage, as I think we still have 1 more turn here. No, I think we move on. Do we move on? I think we might stall one more turn here. Because we should get 2 cooldowns moving to the next stage. And then we have 1 cooldown. Yeah, we do stall one more turn here. Then we have 1 more turn after on for the res for Kaido. So when you get down to 3 turns, it's a good time to move on, actually. So I take that back, sorry. Once you get down to 3 turns, it's a good time to move on. As you can see, Jack is just doing double strike every single turn. It gets very, very frustrating, but it is basically just wasting time at this particular point. But it doesn't matter too much, as those SEMMMLAAA orbs just give so much healing. 68k out of 72k after taking 2 attacks, like, nothing. The SEMMMLAAA orbs actually heal after the attack as well. That's the big difference between them and recovery orbs. So it's kind of better, I guess, because if you take that attack from Jack, then we just heal back. When we move on to the next stage, I mean, actually, now I'm thinking about it, it really doesn't matter too much. It's sort of the same for this particular team, but look, it is what it is. On the next stage, we come up against the big dog Kaido. He gives us 6 turns of like a 20,000 burn. It might be 15k actually now I'm thinking about it. So this is where we want to use our Luffy Sanji special. That way we can, as you can see, we've got the attack boost before they go into their dual form. So we actually have the 2.5 times attack boost. And that way we can actually just burst down Kaido in 1 turn. Make sure you switch with Vivi Rebecca. That way you are getting the 2.5 times chain lock. Very, very important. And be very, very careful not to hit your perfects. To be honest though, like if you actually hit a perfect, like I really don't think it matters. Yeah, there you go, 15k. If you hit a perfect, it really doesn't matter too much. We have 70k HP. It's not that big of a deal if we lose 15k HP. But as you guys will see, those SEMMMLAAA orbs, they aren't healing. 288, it's nothing. But on the next turn, like Kaido will res after you do kill him, and he gives us 3 turns of special bind. So this is where we are going to use our limited rare recruit Lucy special. Again, if you use Montador, he should work here to remove the special bind, and he can remove defense up and damage reduction as well. So he's a good replacement for limited rare recruit Lucy if you don't have him, as we can use the Kaido special as well. So that way you'd be getting a 2.25 times attack boost anyway. And with that, we do want to make sure that we do hit 3 perfects. So do hit with characters that have lower attack or aren't getting the full buff. So with the Kaido special, we are getting the attack. With the limited rare recruit Lucy special, we weren't getting attack for our Psy unit. So the int unit. So that's the best characters to attack with. Wow, words are hard. On to the final stage against Hawkins. He gives us 3 turns of Gloom and he has 2 turns of Defense up. So this is where we can use the special of Neptune to remove the Despair. He's not going to give us the Orb boost because we already have an Orb boost from our Kaido carryover effect. We can switch with Vivi Rebecca for a 2.5 times Chain Lock, and with their special we can remove the Defense up as well. And then we can finish it off with our BigMom special to get a 2.25 times attack boost to our Int and our Strength units. She also gives it to Psy, but we ain't running Psy units. Finishing this off, we are going to watch this beautiful, beautiful versatility, because that's the whole concept of this video, right? We're looking at BigMom versus Kaido, and boom, BigMom's coming at Kaido, coming in hot. Now, Kaido, he coming straight back at you, BigMom. Boom. Clashing Captains. Doom. Good stuff. With that, we just have every single buff under the sun. And we are going to be able to take our boy out, to be able to take our boy Hawkins out. With that, we have 26 mil. I think he has around 25 million HP, so we just have enough damage to kill him. So make sure you do hit your perfects. But there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that big red subscribe button too. For all you bloody legends that are already subscribers, consider hitting that juicy, juicy join button as well. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights!